if you manage to get into medical school, don't worry about your future yet, but just take your time and enjoy your journey of medical school. It's hard and difficult sometimes, but when you get into the clinical environment, you actually see how different is it to study in theory and in real life.
So what do you do in clinical placement?
I can actually, assist the houseman or medical officer in taking blood or inserting some granula or what we call IV cannulations, and assist in some simple procedures. For studying medicine, I guess it taught me how to appreciate life and not to take anything and everything for granted. I actually observed and witnessed the whole process of a natural delivery. I think that hits me quite a lot, that being a mom is definitely not easy. I just tears up that moment and I feel like, wow, it's like thank you to my mom. I also witnessed death in hospital. The part that is rewarding is like it lets you to learn how important health can be and always take care of oneself.
Hi everyone, welcome to today's episode of 𝐀𝐧𝐿 Education Talks. We aspire to inspire you through the series of conversations we are going to have with people with different industries and also educational backgrounds. My name is 𝗀𝗲𝗿. I am an educational consultant at 𝐀𝐧𝐿 Education, which is a university placement agency. For more information about 𝐀𝐧𝐿 Education, you can visit our website, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn page, or get in touch via email or WhatsApp. Due to the current lockdown in Malaysia, we have no other choice but to continue 𝐀𝐧𝐿 Education Talks virtually. And I would like to thank you everyone for being so supportive of 𝐀𝐧𝐿 Education Talks. We have received great feedback from all of you, which really motivates us to continue what we are doing here. So thank you so much. Joining 𝐀𝐧𝐿 Education Talks today, we have Antonia 𝗀𝗶𝗿. She is a final year medical student at Monash University, Malaysia, currently doing her clinical placement at one of the hospitals in Johor. She is going to share some insights with us about her journey as a medical student, her clinical placement experiences, and the process of becoming a medical doctor in Malaysia. So thank you so much, Antonia, for being here today.
Hi.
And hi. First of all, I want to know why you want to study medicine.
Well, I guess first of all, I was being inspired by one of my doctors because I used to fall sick quite a lot when I was very young. So I was inspired by one of my physicians saying that he was inspired to help people, and from that onwards, I feel like maybe there's something that I can do. If I was being accepted in medical school, I wanted to do something that I can actually contribute to the society. So I guess it was because of an inspiration from the physician who always treat me, and I feel like it feels good after you manage to help someone and contribute to the society when you can.
How old were you when you have that thought in mind?
13 or 14 years old, I guess, from 1, from 2.
Wow, and that stuck with you throughout.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first 2 years, they're mainly about clinical theory. Is that correct? And then what do you do in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th year?
As what you mentioned, the first 2 year was just mostly on theory, and 3rd and 4th year is more like clinical placement. Means you mix theory together with clinical placement. For example, I need to go to hospital every morning, but after coming back from the hospital in the morning, I need to attend classes in the clinical school itself until 5 or 6 p.m. Yeah, this is for 3rd and 4th year, but 5th year is wholly, just what we call pre-intern year. So they prep us to become an intern. I will be having I work full-time in hospital, but without salary. Yeah, and this is to prep us to become a qualified houseman, but it is not happening now because of COVID. Yeah.
Oh, no. So you are currently in your 5th year doing your clinical placement, and you call it the pre-internship, right?
Yeah.
The first 2 years is very heavily on studies. Was it difficult though?
Not really, but you need to study a lot, and there's a lot more to take in because it's a new thing to you, especially anatomy. So yeah, I guess first 2 year you just need to keep studying and you have less social life, I guess.
What's your study tips though? How do you manage through the years?
I would say for me is you will need to figure out whether you are a morning or night person, because for me I am a morning person, so I always my memory is that I can memorize things much better when I woke up early in the morning. So I used to wake up quite early in the morning, like 6 or 5 a.m. just to remember all these, just to study anatomy, because I figured out I myself is a morning person. And I also do pre-reading before I attend all the lectures, so I can sort of understand what's happening to the lecture itself, and I will grasp better information and a bigger picture when the doctors talk about it. Yeah, this is made, and also have a study group, because sometimes whatever you didn't cover may actually be covered, and your friends may understand it much better than you, so you guys can just teach each other, and teaching makes you to remember things much better. So
wow, those are great tips for students, really. So what do you do in clinical placement in your pre-internship right now?
For clinical internship, I can actually, assist the houseman or medical officer in taking blood or inserting some granula or what we call IV cannulations, and assist in some simple procedures, but there's a lot more things that I can't do. For example, like chest tube insertion or doing CPR, because sometimes in the ward you might see patient collapse in the ward, but you can't help because you are not yet a MMC qualified doctor. Yeah, so you will just sit there and then see them doing that. But sometimes if I follow, I attach or shadow under a surgeon, I can actually scrub it into the OT and help to hold a scalpel, or just hold some surgical devices, but not to involve in any part of surgery, but just help to hold or assist the surgeon.
Wow, that sounds so interesting though.
Yeah.
What's your experience though, first time being in a surgery room, step into a surgery room?
It's quite different compared to what I saw from TV, because from TV they are very serious about they are all very, how do I say, both of them are really serious in reality and TV, but the thing different is in OT they will actually play some song, the song that the surgeon likes, and I there was one time I thought it was a distraction, so I actually closed the surgeon song, and they just oh no, that's my song, don't close it. Yeah, so they actually want some song, just to make them to stay alert, something like that. And also they will talk, not all those medical relevant stuff when they're doing OT, because they are so experienced about that field itself already. So when they are operating, they are just talking like normal and chit-chatting, and then I was like, wow, that's quite different. That hits me quite different. That I thought it's always a very serious, and then people just talk about medical relevant stuff when they are doing surgery, but it's actually not. They're quite chill, and yeah, they're quite cool and chill about it. That's a difference from what I saw.
So that actually eased you a little bit, right?
Yeah, true.
But I think, from a patient's wise, they are definitely serious about your surgery. It's just that they need to relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the most interesting moments you have so far in your clinical placement?
When I was in one of the private attachment in a private clinic in Obs and Gynae, that I saw the full nature delivery of a family lah. Yeah, I think that hits me quite a lot, that being a mom is definitely not easy. Seeing, since early in the morning until evening, then, the whole process, it took her so long just to deliver a baby. Yeah, it's definitely not easy. I mean, I think that's the part that makes me feel like medicine is so interesting. It's just a combination of life and death. Yeah.
Wow. So how does it work though? So you actually go on rotation from departments to departments?
Yes. For Monash, I'm not sure about other university, but for Monash, year 3, I have medical and surgery, orthopedics, derm, and urology. These 5 specialists, and I just rotate among these 5. And in year 4, we only focus on 4 major subspecialty: psychiatry, obs and gynae, peds, and GP, general practice. And year 5 is supposedly it should be medical surgery, NS, anesthesiology, and also emergency department. But then now because of COVID, we are not allowed to enter ED at all because it might be very infectious and quite dangerous for medical students. So yeah, that's how we.
That definitely impact a lot in terms of your learning experience, right? This pandemic.
Yes.
Is there like a certain number of hours you actually need to fulfill before you actually move on?
Yeah, because we are because when we graduate, we get both cert and qualifications from Malaysia and Australia campus. So now students in Australia they can attend clinical placement. They are all sort of like under control for the COVID in Australia, so they are free to go like whatever clinical placement they can. So to make it fair, they make sure Malaysian students do have the similar clinical exposure as well. So that's why we need to fulfill certain credited hours for clinical placement and need to fulfill that in order to graduate as Monash. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So what's next? Like after you complete your clinical placement, your 5th year, and then the next stage would be to go into your housemanship, right?
Yeah.
For 2 years.
2 years for housemanship, yes.
Okay. And what do you do then? If you are a houseman?
If I'm a houseman, I guess like first of all I need to choose which hospital I wanted to go, but that one is based on first come first serve basis. So if you are late, if you press when you apply online, you click later than someone else, or your internet is not good, then you will just get a hospital that you don't want. So it's really depends on your internet and how fast you manage to choose it. Yeah, from what I heard, KL is the most popular spot. KL and Selangor.
What is the average waiting time then to get a spot?
It's actually getting longer and longer. It took around 1.5 years. Yeah.
1.5 years to get a houseman placement?
Yeah.
Okay, and then you see first come first serve, you can actually choose the hospital you want to go.
Yeah.
What do you do like while you're waiting?
I think it depends on like how different people will do it differently, but I saw some of my seniors, they actually went for clinical schedule under some doctor, but which is not happening now because of this COVID. So some of them are doing research paper or doing some other lab experiment with other doctor as well. But some actually take another degree, which is biomed, for 1 year. So they graduate with double degree. This is what another alternative that Monash can provide it, because it's actually if you study biomed, it's 3.5 years. But if you are doctors already, you graduate MD from Monash, you can actually just study 1 year, then you will get double degree. You can graduate for biomed as well, but still some other senior can do lah. Yeah.
So instead of waiting, they can actually just use up that time to actually take another degree. Okay, that's great. So when you say you need to apply, right, to the hospital you want to go, what is the process like? So you have to finish your clinical placement and then only you can apply, or when you are almost finishing your clinical placement, then you can actually start applying already?
You need to wait until you finish the whole your medical school first, until you get because after you finish your medical school, you will need to wait whether you pass or not. So if you pass, then you will get a number from the MMC. So you need to use that NPIC number. I guess it's NPIC, I forgot, but you need to use that number to apply and register yourself under MMC. Yeah, so after that there will be a time that they'll open the slot for you to choose whatever hospital that you prefer. So do have the hospital that you want in mind, at least 3. So after the first one it doesn't work, you can't get it, then you need to move on to the second one or third one, something like that. Yeah, so this is how it happens.
So it's like there's a specific time that you can go online.
Yeah.
Pick the hospital that on your list, and then literally wait whether you get it or not.
Yeah.
It's like getting a concert ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's so stressful. And then after housemanship, what do you do? What's the next?
After houseman, most of us will first become a floating MO. Means you are, because MO is medical officer, that you are supposed to choose a specialty that you want to dive in already. But because now we have quite a lot of MO, so you will sort of become a floating MO first. Means floating means you are whichever department need you need to go to the department to help out first. So for example, if peds needs you, then you go to peds. If like auto needs you, then you go to auto. So this is sort of like a floating MO for a few months until after you have decided, or that department itself have like free spaces up, like then you will just go to that department and start your MO there for around 3 to 4 years. Yeah.
So you haven't really decided on the specialization you want to go into yet?
Not yet, but I guess mainly should be surgery lah, instead of internal medicine. Yeah.
So you are definitely interested in surgery, but it's just that have you decided on what type of surgeons you want to become, or not yet?
Not really, but I guess I have two areas which I'm quite interested. One is neurosurgery and other is pediatric surgery. But really not sure how it
tough.
goes. So, yeah.
That's still tough.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right, we'll see lah when it goes then.
So I also know that you actually started your own Facebook page and Instagram page, right? That you actually share some of the basic medical knowledge with the public, right? What motivates you to actually start your Facebook page and also your Instagram account?
I actually have my Instagram account quite some times ago, but when I really sharing about medical relevant info, it started in this year March, because of when I'm sort of like a pre-intern, so I sort of know quite a lot of stuff that happen in hospital, and also the basic medical knowledge and even health info that I know, and I also stay updated with all the KKM guidelines about COVID and all the do and don'ts for COVID as well, especially like COVID vaccine. So, and because you're a medical student, so you will sort of get these questions from your relative or your friends asking about this. So I feel like, yeah, why not I just try to share some of it on my Instagram. So, and also I do have what these things called RATE, which is in Chinese we call 𝘆𝗲𝗱𝗶. So I started to share all this health relevant info. Started on 𝘆𝗲𝗱𝗶 first, then after that slowly to Instagram. So on Instagram, I will put it in bilingual, so like people will know, whoever read it can know it in Chinese and English as well. So started then, people just I guess they find it quite interesting and quite new, because to know about all this medical relevant info, especially those COVID related stuff. So started then, I get quite a lot of I get some people actually responding to it, and then they wanted to see more, especially like how I practice in the hospital, any interesting or any funny thing or any interesting thing that I explain in the hospital itself. So I actually have a lot more to share, so I just started up a Facebook page which is focusing solely on medical relevant stuff. Yeah, so I guess that's how it started.
Yeah, I mean, I actually have gone through some of your contents. They're very easy to understand. So I think you did a great job in trying to explain in layman terms, make it so easy to understand literally. You don't put in a lot of medical jargons. So I think that's something that the audience will really appreciate.
Yeah, I try my best not to put like medical jargon.
So continue doing that. Really, really fun to actually watch your posts or see your content. Right, so for the audience, if you want to check out Antonia's NE page, Facebook page and Instagram account, we'll also put the information at the description box later. I think next, what I want to ask is that what are you are in your final year, right? So what are the most difficult or what are the biggest challenge you have faced so far?
I guess for academic wise, you can cope it. It depends on how you cope it with stress. I myself is I think I can cope with stress quite okay. So I guess academic part is still okay for me, but the biggest challenge would be the uncertainties towards the future, because I'm not sure whether where am I going to work, and then I'm sort of like a pre-intern now. So I guess for me in this current moment, my biggest challenge would be the uncertainties towards the future lah. Like where should I work, and then about these contract doctors issues, and a lot of things actually hit me quite but I guess just cope with it step by step. But I guess if you are not yet a pre-intern, speaking like back in my medical school years, passing final exams and OSCE would be quite a big challenge. Yeah.
And what's your biggest reward so far?
For studying medicine, I guess it taught me how to appreciate life and not to take anything and everything for granted. One of the thing that makes me that I can still remember until now is I actually observed and witnessed the whole process of a natural delivery. I think that hits me really, really like different in a way that I didn't know it is so hard, to give birth to a baby, and I just tears up that moment, and I feel like wow, it's like thank you to my mom. So it actually teach me, not to take things for granted, and I shouldn't be so, sometimes a bit disrespect to my own parents. So I feel like, it actually teach me a lot. And I also witnessed death in hospital. So it really, the part that is rewarding is like, it lets you to learn how important health can be, and always take care of oneself. Yeah.
Wow, okay, I think
it's really a rewarding pathway.
Yeah, because I'm also thinking like, because you talk about life and death, right?
Yeah.
It's like you witness the most beautiful moment of life being birthed, right? But you also witness death. So, and then I don't know, it definitely takes a different personality and characteristics to actually to do what you do. To be a medical student, to study medicine, and also to actually able to actually go through all of this, right? So that's why I always tell students that it's really not just about how smart you are, how good you are in terms of academic. It really takes a lot of emotions and physical strength to actually do this program, right? And to actually become a doctor, you need to take in all this, and then you need to learn how to digest and manage it on a daily basis. Wow. Okay. And any tips and advice though for students who want to go into medical program?
I guess first of all is you will need to make sure because in order to have a professional looking, you can't dye your hair. You must always keep your nails short. You can't have any nail polish at all. Can't dye your hair at all, and also make sure you dress formal. There was a few times that I didn't dress formal in my campus. It's not a hospital, it's my campus, and I got warning from the admin staff say like, hey, you can't dress good, because it's not that short, but in order to make you to become a professional and look professional, they will start training you since medical school. So in university, when you see people dressing up, you can't actually dress up a lot. So yeah, that's the first part. I have a culture shock when I first entered. When I first entered MBBS, I saw everyone just dress up for their own cause, but why MBBS can't? Yeah, that's one part. But the other tips is like learn how to cope with stress. That's really, really important, because you're gonna encounter a lot more of stress in study, because the workload is a lot, and the exam is not that easy as well. So learn how to cope with find your own study methods and cope with the stress. Find a way to cope with it. Other advice would be, you must not be scared of needles and blood, because as a medical student, you will get vaccinated a lot, especially for this year, because I was supposed to work in hospital for full time, so I need to get vaccinated against for a lot of vaccine like DTP booster. So I think so far, not taking in a COVID vaccine, I already took 4 jabs for the vaccine itself, like Hep A, Hep B, and also quite a lot of other vaccinations. So yeah, besides poking others, we'll get poked by doctors as well. So
that's something new that I didn't know of. Wow.
Yeah. You need to get vaccinated, and you need to get body checked every year, because you are the one who need to touch the patients and handle patients. You will touch blood, etc. So you need to make sure you yourself are healthy as well. So you will need to get blood tests and checkup every year. And so not to scared of needles and blood. Yeah.
Okay. I guess that's it. Anything else that you want to add or tell the audience?
If you manage to get into medical school, don't worry about your future yet, but just take your time and enjoy your journey of medical school. It's definitely a rewarding topic. It's hard and difficult sometimes, but when you get into the clinical environment, you'll actually see how different is it to study in theory and in real life. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Really, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your insights, and literally what you've witnessed as well. And yeah, so thank you so much for being here today. All right.
Yeah, thank you for inviting me.
Okay, so we hope you enjoyed today's episodes of Excel Education Talks. And if you liked the conversation today, please like the video and subscribe to our channel, and also share the video with your friends. If you have any comments or feedback, we'd like to hear from you as well. Drop us a message if you would like to know more about applying to a medical program, or to find out more about the entry requirements to study medicine and the scholarship availability. Our educational consultants are more than happy to assist you with your inquiry. So I guess that's it. See you in the next episode of Excel Education Talks, and stay well. Bye. What are the 5 things you cannot go to work without?
5 things. I guess the on-call bag, which have all the things that I need during on-call. This is one of it. My phone, water tumbler, coffee, and the other one, last one would be what is the other one that I need? Some snacks, protein bar. This 5. Yeah.
Okay.
Myself.
And the first thing you do every morning?
First thing I do every morning, check my phone.
That's why everyone does as well.